Let's talk about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers so far. This team is 4-2, and they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I know that we hear a lot about the Minnesota Vikings and a lot about the Detroit Lions. I'm going to make a bold prediction right here. This team most definitely will make the NFL playoffs, and they may even make a deeper run than they did last season. When you look at the way the NFC is shaping up right now, the San Francisco 49ers, they're not the same team that they were from last season. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, no one is really worried about that team and that organization right now. And look at what the Packers did to them last year in the NFL playoffs. When I look at the Detroit Lions, Aiden Hutchinson is out for the rest of the year. We'll see how their defense can stack up against an offense like the Green Bay Packers. And the Minnesota Vikings right now, you look at that team, they are the best team in this division. But you go back a couple weeks. Yes, Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions in that game. They lost that game by 2 points. And I do understand if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, it came down to a botched punt and it was a muff punt, and it put the Packers into a situation to go out there and score a touchdown. And basically the momentum tilted in that game. But at the same time, that's a part of football. When I look at Jordan Love, he's easily one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And this is year number 2 for him in terms of being a starting quarterback for an entire season. He got to sit down behind Aaron Rodgers for the first couple of years of his career. And so far, I will say this, they've gotten a huge return on this investment. I do believe that Jordan Love moving forward would be even better than he is right now because he has one of the best play calling head coaches in the NFL that's coaching him up, and Coach LaFleur. Coach LaFleur is doing everything right with this offense by using a lot of motion, using a lot of plays to help Jordan Love see the field and to get the run game going as well. We know why they moved off of Aaron Jones. He wasn't a bad running back, but he wasn't able to stay healthy. They basically released him. You bring in a younger running back in Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs' skill set is one of the best skill sets in the NFL for a running back. The fact that Jordan Love missed time this season dealing with an MCL injury that he suffered in week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles, and he is tied second with the most passing touchdowns in the NFL up to this point, says a lot. 12 passing touchdowns to 6 interceptions on the season. And for context with the interceptions, he threw 3 interceptions against the Minnesota Vikings, but it came with 4 passing touchdowns as well. Their 2 losses on the season was week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. That's the game that Jordan Love got hurt in. And it was a close football game. The defense went out there. They're doing their things. Jordan Love looked a little bit rusty on the field. He was throwing off his back foot a lot, and he wasn't really comfortable inside the pocket. If you run that game back right now, I may take the Green Bay Packers to win that matchup. And we all know that they will face the Minnesota Vikings again this season because it's a division matchup. When I look at the Green Bay Packers right now, they have one of the better offenses in the NFL because they have so much depth, even at the offensive line position. But when you look at the wide receivers, you go from Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, and their true number 1 wide receiver is Jaden Reed. You also have Dontavian Wicks as well. These wide receivers go deep, and they can go out there and they can give you problems every single week. One week it may be Christian Watson going for 2 receiving touchdowns. The next week it may be Jaden Reed going for 2 receiving touchdowns. Then you look at another situation, Dontavian Wicks, when he's fully healthy, he can go out there and give you problems as well. They are deep at wide receiver, and it depends on the matchup. If they're going against a team with smaller corners, Christian Watson will go out there. He will have a day. If you have cornerbacks that aren't good with shifty wide receivers, a guy like Romeo Doubs may go out there and give you a lot of problems. If you have cornerbacks that struggle to stick with wide receivers that are very good at running routes and can take the top off the defense, you're going to struggle with Jaden Reed. That's why I like the wide receivers that they have, because they're all different, but at the same time, they're all very good wide receivers. And when I'm just saying that Jaden Reed is a number 1, he is. He's the most consistent. Doesn't mean that the other wide receivers on this team can't go up there and give you a lot of good production, because they have in the past. And when you look at Josh Jacobs, the running back that he has become in this system, Josh Jacobs is a very good running back. He's averaging 4.3 yards a carry, 1 rushing touchdown a season, 464 rushing yards. I really wish that a guy like Marshawn Lloyd was able to play right now. Right now, he is on IR. They drafted him in this year's draft class out of USC. He's going to be a very good running back. But right now, Josh Jacobs has been a very good, consistent running back with the Packers. And you love to see that because they paid him a lot of money to come over from the Las Vegas Raiders. You also look at it from this standpoint as well. A.J. Dillon, going to miss this entire season because he's dealing with an injury as well. He would have been a very good goal line running back, but unfortunately, things did not work out. Don't be surprised after this season if they move off of A.J. Dillon. But when you look at the running backs that they have, I like the pieces. I also like Emmanuel Wilson as well. The offensive line has been very good this season. They have bought Jordan Love a lot of time inside and outside the pocket. And I do want to give Malik Willis his flowers. I was wrong about Malik Willis. I thought when Malik Willis came into the game, the offense was going to take a huge step back. They ran the football more with him and with Josh Jacobs, and he was able to go out there and have a lot of success through the air as well. He went against the Indianapolis Colts. He had a day. He went against his old team in the Tennessee Titans. He had a day again. That says a lot about Malik Willis and how he's able to develop with the Green Bay Packers, because we know one thing with the Packers. They can go out there and they can develop quarterbacks over time. We've seen this historically from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, now with Jordan Love and Malik Willis. I'm not saying that he's going to be a very good week-to-week starter in the future, but as a backup, I do believe that he has found a home with the Packers as a whole. And shout out to Coach LaFleur. He altered his game plan. Usually you'll see coaches go out there, they'll say, you know what, we're going to stick to the same script that we had with Jordan Love. He didn't do that. He altered the offense. They went out there. They did more of a ground rushing attack in terms of running the football, worked off of play action, and they did simple reads through the middle of the field. And give Malik Willis credit for going out there and cleaning up his accuracy. But at the same time, Coach LaFleur, he's cooking right now by using a lot of motion to get guys open. He's scheming guys open. Yes, the wide receivers are good, but let's give him credit as well. And the tight end spot, personally, I really like Luke Musgrave. Right now, he's on IR, but we saw what Tucker Kraft was able to do against the Los Angeles Rams, and he's a very good receiving target in terms of being in that tight end room. When you have him and Luke Musgrave, those are even more weapons that you add on to this offense as well. And I can't say enough good things about this offensive line unit. They have drafted very well in the first round over the last couple of years, and you love to see that for the Green Bay Packers. Now, they do have a huge weakness. Their defense, passing-wise, has not been good this season. It's been very inconsistent. Xavier McKinney may be the best cover safety in the NFL. The man has 5 interceptions on the season and 6 pass deflections. He has been worth every single penny that he signed for in free agency when he came over from the New York Giants. Just a phenomenal safety to have with your brand new defensive coordinator and Jeff Hafley. If we go back over the last couple of years, Joe Barry was a terrible defensive coordinator. That was the Achilles heel with the Packers. Their defense cannot go out there and it cannot be consistently good. Now, against the run, they're a top unit in the NFL. I am worried about their secondary. Yes, you have Xavier McKinney who's making crazy plays. Jair Alexander is still a very good cornerback in the NFL. But you look at a guy like Eric Stokes, he has not been good this season. They've been starting to pick on him on the right side of the field. He has to be better. We could talk about how good Xavier McKinney is. He can't cover everything. And Eric Stokes has to be better. And I understand that he's dealt with injuries in the past, but he has to step up this season. When I look at the linebackers are very solid in my opinion as well. That pass rush is very good. When you look at a guy like Rashawn Gary, he can get to the quarterback. You look at a guy like Kenny Clark, one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL. He's a very good run stopper. He's going to eat through double teams. He's going to get to the quarterback as well. Now, he may not bring the quarterback down, but he's going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback through the middle of the field. And the one thing that quarterbacks hate is when they cannot step up in the pocket. And it helps a guy like Preston Smith go out there and bring the quarterback down as well. Devontae Wyatt is good in his own right. He's a very good interior defensive lineman. He has 3 sacks on the season. He fits like a glove playing alongside Kenny Clark. So when you look at that front 7, it's a lot of talent there. It's a bunch of first round picks there as well. I like what they have. The secondary just has to be more consistent in my opinion. That's it. This team can make a deep playoff push. I'm not going to come on here in the middle of October and say that this team's going to make a Super Bowl push because we're so far from out that. But when you look at what teams need in the NFL to be successful in the postseason, you need an amazing quarterback. The Packers have that. You need a very good offensive line. The Packers have that. A dominant rushing attack. They have that with Josh Jacobs. And when Marshawn Lloyd is fully healthy, he may even be able to come in and help you out more in the run game as well. You need very good wide receiver play. The Packers have that. You need a very good front 7 that can go out there and stop the run. They have that as well. They have a true number 1 cornerback in Jair Alexander as long as he can stay healthy. And you also have Xavier McKinney as well, who is one of the best safeties in the NFL. They're able to hit on these key spots, and I expect for the Green Bay Packers to be a threat for the rest of this season. When you look at the San Francisco 49ers right now, they're not the same team that they have been in the past, defensively and offensively either. They are having huge problems protecting Brock Purdy. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, no one is worried about that team, that organization. Look at what the Packers did to them last year in the NFL playoffs. When I look at the Detroit Lions, no Aiden Hutchinson. That bothers me a lot about their defense. We'll see what they do moving forward if they try to make a major move to bring in a true #1 pass rusher. When I look at the offense for the Lions, one of the best offenses in the NFL. But when we talk about complete teams, the Green Bay Packers, they're up there with some of the best teams in the NFL. Do not sleep on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers this season. It's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to be able to do against CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, because as I record this video, they play them this Sunday. But with that being said, man, I like what the Packers have. I know that this division right now is being led by the Minnesota Vikings, but do not be surprised in the next couple of weeks if the Green Bay Packers are right there in front of this division. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Are the Green Bay Packers a legit team in the NFC? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.